Hello my fellow book readers, and welcome to another episode of Reb Reviews. Today I'd like to talk to you about a Stephen King novel called Under the Dome. It's about a very small town where suddenly and inexplicably a completely invisible yet completely impenetrable dome appears. It's not so much about the actual dome but more about the people, which is what makes it such a good book. It's upwards of 900 pages long, but it's paced so well, so quickly, and you really do get a can't stop turning the page feeling. It follows the lives of quite a few different townsfolk who survived the initial shock of the dome appearing, and basically it just chronicles the trials and tribulations of the town. It's quite an ensemble book. Almost every character has equal weight of sort of responsibility for keeping the story going. But I suppose the main character, if you want to kind of try and label one, is a guy called Barbie. He's an ex-military officer who finds himself in the town just around the time the dome appears. And he kind of ends up being the voice of the government, the man, big brother, so to speak, during the entire ordeal. It's an interesting position to be put in when you consider that basically this town becoming isolated has become its own little country, its own part of the world, ungoverned, unruled by any outsiders. In true Stephen King style, there are some very, very gory, disgusting, shocking, out of this world things, but most important to note about this book, which for Stephen King is different, I suppose, is that there is no supernatural element really to the way that the people behave. Obviously this dome appearing is kind of weird, and that's what leads them to act the way that they do in some ways, but you could kind of see the human in the people and sort of the reasons why they're doing some of the things that they're doing, which makes it even more twisted and hard to deal with, which is fantastic. And the way that different individuals and society as a whole copes with that situation is really, really interesting. It's kind of a commentary on the nature of humanity and the nature of what makes us who we are, and how much situations can change us or not. In fact, if you're interested in psychology, or you're just looking for a really kind of cerebral story to get you thinking about the what ifs in life, I'd truly recommend Under the Dome. The only part that I would say kind of upset me about the book was that the end was kind of a bit of an anticlimax, but I'll leave that to you anyway. I think part of what fascinated me about the book was kind of thinking, well, what if this, or what if that, or how about this? And there are a couple of really great turning points in the story that could have panned out differently, and they give you a lot of room to think like that. Incidentally, you may or may not know that an adaptation of this book is being brought in drama form to CBS. There's a link in the description to that as well if you want to go and look for information on the show. Kind of what sparked me to review this now, considering I read the book probably the latter part of last year, but it is really, really well worth a read. So overall I would say definitely kind of psychological, difficult to read but can't stop yourself from reading, exciting, fast paced, chilling, horrific but brilliant story. Definitely go for it, and I'll see you soon.